Hello and welcome back to Old World Wednesdays. Well, the Beastmen have ambushed us. We thought they were going to appear. We looked into the forest, they disappeared, and now, boom, pre-order. So we thought they were coming, and then the Wood Elves came out, which was hugely exciting for myself. But now the Beastmen are here, and that is what we are here to talk about today, Tom.
Dan, I tell you, I'm so excited to see the Beastmen's come out. Beastmans?
The Beastmans.
So
Three
excited.
cheers to the Beastmans. It's Old World Wednesday. So welcome back, guys. We are going to go through the articles that have been released on the Warhammer Community. We're going to talk a bit about the new lore, all the cool returning miniatures, and the ones that aren't so cool as well, what we're going to see from the box, and end with a little bit of speculation. But I just wanted to say, for those of you who cannot wait until Wednesday to get your midweek fix of Old World Wednesday, if you are a member of our Patreon, you can join Old World Tuesdays, because we are uploading there a little bit earlier and you'll get early access to the videos. And there's also a Discord where we are showing all the progress on our Empire projects and various things, and you can hang out with us and just have a chat about all things Warhammer, even on the weekend. But anyway, without further ado, Tom, here we are. We thought we were going to be here before, and there have been some delays. I don't know quite what caused it. I think probably, the rumour is, isn't it, that when they turn on the machinery in Nottingham, it just blows the grid. The national grid can't handle how big Games Workshop's gotten now, and production is
power
an
cuts
issue.
in the old hospitals. What do you want? Do you want your plastic space marines, or do you want this operation?
Yeah, so some production issues is what we've been led to believe that's caused this, and obviously they've got a lot to produce. I mean, all this new heresy, all this stuff going on for Age of Sigmar as well at the same time. Obviously Space Marines, but back-to-back releases now for Old World. Pretty cool.
So it's going strong. It's going really strong.
Yeah, really excited for this. So why don't we start, Tom, with the box?
I think we've talked about it before, haven't we, Dan? But what a fantastic box of miniatures this is. But like the prime price of £110, as they usually are, 61 models, 2 units of 15 Ungors, 30 Gores, and a Cygor. If that's the backbone of a horde, Dan.
Yeah, I think this one and the Wood Elf one have both been really good, to be honest. In there is definitely stuff you can use and stuff that you would want. And Games Workshop sometimes can, like, I think the Orcs and Goblins one is a good example, where they give you units that you potentially don't want.
I think the Orcs and Goblins one was particularly weak. The Empire one could have been stronger. With a random steam tank thrown in, I didn't quite get, but I still brought it.
Really strong box from the start. Great to see that you get so many models now. So that's really cool. We were chatting off screen before about how excited we are for the Arcane Journal, because it always moves the lore along. So now there's new lore. So we knew that the Wood Elves have been fighting, and there's been this shadow war happening in Bretonia, and Araloth has killed Morga, which happened a few decades ago. But now he's been reborn somewhere in the world, and this is where the new named character Crownmore comes in, because he's a prophet. And he's now searching for the new reborn Morga. And everything is kind of centered towards the Empire at the moment. So they're looking a lot in Lorelorn Forest, which is where Orion's Wild Hunt has been. At the same time in the Empire, we've got the Chainbreaker from Chaos, who's been invading Westerland. And then in the Wood Elf Armagnac, there's like rumours that cafe troops are turning up, maybe on the shores of Marienburg, places like that. So the lore is being pieced together in all these arcane journals, and that's what makes me excited for this one, is that you get another piece of the puzzle.
Do you know what? It's not just this one; it's the next one and the ones after. I think they've learned really good lessons about not stagnating it, and let's keep, even if it's a little bit. I'm going to give you something in each arcane journal that's going to tick that clock closer to midnight for us. Because, as you said, it's all moving towards the Empire, and I think we all know what happens in a couple of 100 years in the Empire.
Well, it's not even a couple; it's less than 100 years. Isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, what's really great is that back in the day when you used to get your army book, I mean, I used to think, some of the text I think was probably directly copied or it was reworded, but it's the same stories, just kind of retold, and there'd be slight updates maybe. If they introduced a new character or something, or a new unit, they'd have to retcon what they did and put the units in somewhere. But that was pretty much it. Whereas now, every time, like you said, it really feels like it's building and the clock is ticking. So I'm really hopeful. This is ticking towards a campaign. Really hopeful for that.
I'm really hopeful for that as well. And I think they do a really beautiful job in this article. There's like a couple of small sentences about the Zangors, so your Zinch flavored beastie gores and stuff like that. And they're just like, they're here. They're here in the world. So if you want to go ahead, go mad. But this arcane journal is all about your regular goat boys, which I'm really excited about. I'd love to see some great modelling out there for Zangor gores, maybe some skull gores if you want to get your corn on.
Yeah, very cool. So one of the main characters, Crown Moore, is front and center in the story, which is really cool. And then we have a returning character in Gorus, the Centaur, model whose weapon it's ridiculous. If you've seen the model, he's holding it up. It's like bigger than he is. I don't know how I was amazed that the model actually. If he wasn't a Centaur and didn't have 4 legs and he was on 2 legs, he'd have just fallen over.
I don't know how you're going to get that to stay on the base. That's coming back in metal. Good luck.
But he's very cool. And again, it's cool to see these returning characters because they can't do it with everyone because, humans aren't that long lived, for example, whereas elves are. But Gorus has been around for centuries, so they can have him come back. So it's really, really cool. And the old world is getting this right, that it's cool and moving narrative forward, but also looking back and giving you that nostalgia at the same time. Really. So this is a very cool release for people, I guess, new and old. Interesting that it went into the Age of Sigmar range and is now gone from the Age of Sigmar range. So I wonder if we'll see people tempted to base onto squares or give the old world a go because they've got a Beastman army.
That would be very interesting. I'd like to see that happen. I mean, if anyone's going to do it, do shout out.
Yeah. Yes.
I know we've pulled one Age of Sigmar Warhammer 40k player in from the lovely Shades of Chaos.
Shades of Chaos, House of Chaos. Shout out to that channel there. I'll put a link in the description.
Ross, shout out to Captain Ross.
Ross, our good friend, has been painting up Beastmen, and he's been doing a cracking job. And he's done a video of how to paint a unit in a day or in an afternoon, and then he's done a video on how he's done his bases, and they are looking really good. So I'm very much looking forward to facing my Empire or my Wood Elves off against them at some point. But more on the release. So we've got returning units. Obviously, we've seen all this before because they teased it ready for the preview and then didn't have the preview, but then the Wood Elves came out. So we have seen this before. But there are loads of core returning units. The Minotaurs, I think, are going to be great to see back. And they come back with their own army of infamy as well. So you could have a Minotaur-themed army.
And that's going to look mighty impressive on the tabletop, isn't it?
Yeah. That will look, it'll look great.
will look great. I'm really excited to see the Vestigors come back. Something about Chaos Worshippers or someone slightly evil wielding a giant axe that's the size of two people combined. Just it's all sold. It just sells Warhammer to me, Dan, straight away.
Yeah, I think they're a very cool, quite unique faction as well, because they've got the ambush kind of aspect to them, and they're a proper horde army as well. So you can have these big centerpieces in your monsters and your Cygors or cockatrices or all these different things. But then also you can have this like horde style of the army. I think they're great. It's going to be really good to see them back for sure.
So as well as the old models, Dan, we've also got these lovely new returning Cromwell the Prophet, the great shaman for the Beastmen, who you've said was going out searching for Morgur. And I just love this model. Absolutely everything about it. It's stunning. And I really love the humorous familiar they've got with him, carrying on that new tradition of let's give a new wizard a little funny sidekick to go around with.
Yeah, that is a cool little tradition, isn't it? I loved it when they did it with the Empire. It's great to see it carried on. And like I said, it's great to have this new lore and this new character. And the model is stunning. He's a great model. I'm just looking forward to seeing his rules on the tabletop, because not too much has leaked from the Arcane Journal, even though there must have been people who've had it for a while, I'd have thought. Leaks don't tend to happen until it gets into like the shops, is what I tend to find. And then you'll see on Discord and on different places, forums and things, the potato camera will resurface and someone would have taken a picture of a page of it because it's gone into a shop. But what I've heard is that they're going to get like a falcon horn kind of item. I think it's going to be a banner, and it will work just like the falcon horn. You take a leadership test, and if you pass it, no one can fly, or no enemies can fly.
I'm glad about that, because their leadership should be rubbish.
I like it that like the Bretonian player is like blowing his falcon horn, and it's like, I see your falcon horn, and I raise you one doom banner or whatever it's going to be.
Oh, but Mom, can I get a falcon horn, please? No, you've got falcon horns at home.
The only thing about it is, if you do that against certain armies, it's really good. So I think Wood Elves, that are one of my armies, my main army, if you blow the falcon horn, a Warhawk I think is like movement 2 when it's not flying. A Pegasus is still like movement 8 or something, isn't it?
It is. It still skirmishes around.
So don't go thinking you can break Bretonians, because they're just immune. They're so annoying. Yeah, but it might help against it would help against Warhawks that no one else player would ever make. But
maybe a dragon might slow it down a bit, but not much.
But I think that looking through, I was doing some list building with Ross recently, actually, about what kind of thing he would like to take or what would work. And there are some really cool magic items already for the Beastmen. There's some really good weapons, and I'd love to see more of those and give you more options. I mean, you could really just like mob the battlefield with these low-level hero characters that are really strong. It doesn't take a lot to get them tough and to give them a mutation, and then to add something else, and then to give them a magic weapon, and loads of flavor on the table. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of the magic items. I think the rumor is as well that they're going to get their own spell lore, which will complement what we've seen in the Wood Elves. So they each get spells that are around. They're both versions of the Law of Life, I think, kind of nature-y kind of laws. So I think we might see, things that are familiar for those who remember playing the Law of Life, that we've seen the Wood Elf leagues. I think we'll get something kind of similar in the Beastmen leagues, which is
the article does a really good job of saying they're basically two sides of the same coin, aren't they? One's just like a chaotic version of nature with being the Beastmen, and the Wood Elves are kind of nature's going to take its course. We're going to play the game. We're not going to really pick a side, but we'll fight for the goodies.
Yeah, that's the thing about Wood Elves, is that they're like, is it like neutral good or chaotic good, or I don't know what you would call it, but they are on the side of good, but they're not really to be trusted.
I'm not going to go out and do you a favor. They're not going to help you build a shed in your back garden. They might stab you in the back when you don't suspect it, but when it came to a pub brawl, they'd be on your side, I'm sure.
as useful as an elf could be in a pub brawl.
Well, they dance around. They're quite nimble.
So that's cool. It kind of feels like like these two releases coming out so close together, and the lore is knitted together, and then potentially we'll see some interplay with the spell lore. Be really cool. There has been some things in the Wood Elf spell lore that address the meta. There's like a line hammer spell, for example, that attacks every model in the fighting rank. Things like that. So I'd be interested to see. It feels like it's a little bit more reactive to what has been going on in the game, rather than this has been written some time ago and here you are. And this thing, which is what it used to be like with the army books. I think the army books felt, there was a time when Games Workshop felt quite disassociated from its customer. It produced something and the customers would buy it, yes or no, and then but now it feels much more interactive. There are people play testing, there are FAQs, there's this kind of things going on.
It almost feels, with the way they communicate to us, people who are thirsty for the old world, it feels like a really nice tailored experience I'm getting at the minute. They're dropping me little snippets of lore. The books are then pushing the lore on a little bit further, and they all seem to be linked, or they complement each other, and they're trying to create a nice little environment for me to explore the old world in, which I'm really excited about, especially with what's to come soon, I'm hoping.
So let us know which Beastmen units you're most excited about returning. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited about from the Arcane Journal. Let us know if there's any rumours that you have heard that we haven't mentioned, because I don't think we're as clued up as we could be about the Beastmen returning. And next Wednesday, we're going to discuss more around this expanding lore. We're going to have a look at the map, we're going to have a look at the timeline, and then we're going to talk about some rumours that we have heard about the return of Cathay and when we might see that and what role they might be playing in the old world. So thank you very much for joining us today. This has been 9 Charge. This is Old World Wednesdays, and we will see you next time. Oh, that's good.